Hey guys, it's Jen. I've been working on knitting my first pair of socks, and I'm using Rowan's Fine Art, which is beautiful. And I chose a pattern called Sparrow from the Fine Art collection, and it's a garter stitch sock. And so knitting in the round, I quickly realized that this is going to be a lot of purling. And so if you're not a fan of purling, or if you just want to do something different or impress your friends or give your wrist a break, you can knit backwards and it gives the same result as purling. And you can knit backwards in the round or on 2 straight needles, and it's just kind of a cool trick to know if you haven't done it before. So I just wanted to show you how to knit backwards. Okay, so first I'm going to show you how to knit backward while working on 2 needles. Typically when you'll do this with 2 needles, you'll be working a section of stockinette stitch, and so you work your knit rows like normal, and I just finished a knit row here. And normally you would turn it over right now to purl, and you would start here. But when you knit backwards, you just leave it facing this way, and you don't change hands. You leave this in your right hand, and with your empty left hand needle, you're just going to go into the back of the loop of the first stitch on your needle. You're going to use the working yarn to wrap over, and then you're going to slide this off and onto the left hand needle. So you're going to move all the right stitches over to the left. So you just go into the back loop every time, wrap over, and slide it off, and it's pretty slick. I'm using this chunky yarn so you can really see what I'm doing. So you just go into the back loop, wrap over, and push it off. And so you never have to purl, but you're getting that purl row done. Pretty nice. So now that was really my purl row. I just knit it backwards. And now I don't have to flip anything over. I'm just going to knit again like normal. And you're just going back and forth and back and forth. It is pretty slick. And especially if your hands start to get cramped while purling, this gives them kind of a little break. So there you see it's, no flipping. Just once again, I'll show you one more row. Go into the back loop, wrap over, and off. Into the back loop, wrap over, and off. And there you go. So that's for stockinette on 2 needles. Next I'm going to show you how I'm doing this in the round for garter stitch on my sock. So that's up next. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I've been knitting backwards in the round to get my garter stitch for my sock. It's going to be a little bit harder to see because the yarn is so small and the needles are tiny, but I will show you anyway just so you can kind of see. There's a couple of little differences, since we're knitting in the round, so I'm just going to show you how that works. So normally, I'm on a purl row right now. Normally you would be purling facing this outside of your sock. You'd be purling around. But since I am knitting backwards, I am knitting up here facing the inside of my sock. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. And once again, I'm using my left hand needle going into the back of the first stitch on the right hand needle that I'm on, and sliding it over. So I'm just doing the same thing but in the round, facing the inside, so I'm getting my purl row without having to purl. So just go into the back of the stitch, just like before. Same thing. So this has been pretty nice for my sock knitting, since I'm very new to sock knitting and I've never worked on size zeros before. I've never really knit with sock yarn before, so this is all a little bit new to me. But yeah, if you get a little tired of purling all the time, this is a pretty cool alternative. And so that's knitting backwards in the round to get garter stitch.